Watching Star Wars Acolyte fills me with existential dread. The same foreboding fear I had when waking up, knowing I had to deal with the school bully in my adolescence. Except this time, if I were to punch the bully in the nose, YouTube would take away my channel monetization because I picked on a defenseless billion-dollar corporation that hires people unqualified for the job due to diversity. But if you say that out loud, you're now a racist. If only George Orwell could see us now, he'd scream, "My book is a warning, not a manual!" And then he'd be taken away to sensitivity training to learn how to not be a bigot. The episode starts off with Jedi Master Cal Naka making lunch. Leslie Headland's big selling point was that she got to have a Wookiee Jedi in the show. But then she dusts his ass off at the end of the show before you see him do jack shit, except for one force pull when he was grabbing a blaster from, like, I guess, bounty hunters or something last episode. So I guess that's really all you'll see him do. Then we're zipped back to Coruscant, which, oddly, they always have a caption on that lets you know that we're at Coruscant. Maybe they think everyone has the memory span of a goldfish, which, honestly, they should be praying for, because this show carries the time-honored tradition of retconning past Star Wars lore. For some reason, they bring back Master Kal Aldun Moon, the one who's got the head that looks like a dick. You've seen him in the prequel trilogies, talking to Yoda and so on and so forth at the Jedi Council. You remember him, he's very distinctive. And then you watch him get completely gunned down by troopers during Order 66. Anyway, he totally forgets about the twins born from the Force when dealing with Anakin Skywalker. And he somehow forgets that the Sith attack happened only 100 years ago at the Acolyte. But during the prequels, he said you hadn't seen the Sith in a millennia. You also look deeper, you find out that he actually would have been 4 years old at the time of the Acolyte.
Scratch that. Ki-Adi-Mundi wasn't even born yet. He was discovered at the age of 4. He was only 73 years old. And the Acolyte was 100 years ago. That's 27 years.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
But Wikipedia quickly sprang into action and changed his page info in real time. I'm told that Star Wars Theory was actually watching it on his live stream when they did it, so there's some video proof out there. I can't even be mad at the show for getting everything wrong and completely just omitting anything that happened in Star Wars. I can kind of understand screwing up the prequel trilogy, okay. But they did this with Obi-Wan Kenobi as well. I totally forgot that show existed. Just like Leia forgot she even knew who Obi-Wan Kenobi was after going on a grand adventure with him and fighting Darth Vader. Somehow, when sending her message to R2-D2 during the events of A New Hope, she got complete amnesia. See, the more you pay attention to this stuff, the more your brain rots trying to keep up with the terrible writing and the absolute lack of respect for the source material. I mean, that's just really what it is. Leslie Headland went out of her way to hire people that knew absolutely nothing about Star Wars or cared to learn anything. And she was spurred on by Dave Filoni, the golden calf of the modern Star Wars era. But it turns out all that glitters isn't gold, and this SOB was pure bronze. But hey, the show has queer space representation.
The Acolyte introduced queer space witches in a thrilling development.
Thanks, IndieWire. Just keep doing what you do until you run out of money and go bankrupt. Oh, and don't forget, Twitter was already shipping OSHA and Ziggy Stardust.
I felt like there was a vibe brewing between Jackie and OSHA in this week's Acolyte. The Acolyte just got even more queer. Davin Queen confirms Jackie Leone's crush on...
Oh, vey. This is what we're focused on. The show is incredibly bad, but the press is always like,
hey, it's queer representation.
The show's poorly written, it's lore-breaking.
No, it's good. It's good, lesbians.
Well, I totally hope they les out, because it's 2024. Who says Jedis need to be stoic? Emotions lead to the dark side? Well, sign me up, girlfriend, because that sounds queer-friendly to me. Anyway, if you love the wooden acting for the last 3 episodes, you'll be happy to see it's back, and it's harder than mahogany. And in my day, we coined the phrase Mannequin Skywalker for Hayden Christensen. So that's saying something. This episode, literally nothing happens till the very end. For all extensive purposes, it was a walking simulator. while the actors struggled to emote their lines correctly or invoke anything from you that seemed like you weren't watching a high school play. Before you knew it, a new shit character was added. It was obviously the Acolyte's attempt to try and catch lightning in a bottle twice with a Baby Yoda-like character. And much like the show itself, fails miserably. I would say the pronouns thing was blown out of proportion. Is it stupid? Yes. Is it on brand for this series? Yes. Is it as bad as we were led to believe? No, not really. Was it an interesting, funny interaction between all of them? No.
What's that? What's Basil? Is he or they with us?
Can you imagine how many lives this is going to be saving?
The writer of this episode was so proud of herself, she took to Twitter to let everyone know that she wrote this lore-breaking piece of
Absolute cinema. The episode I wrote with Core Adana, I don't care. The Acolyte premieres now. It has the lightsabers and forest planets and this cute little guy.
Yeah, they literally turned on lightsabers. That's the selling point. They turned on lightsabers and they used it once. Like, how is this marketing? How is it? Jesus Christ. All I could think of while reading this stupid tweet was Shakespeare. Life is but a walking shadow. The poor player struts and frets his hour upon the stage and is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Anyway, this character's name was Basil. He's basically a tracker, and he's going to find Cal Naka, the Wookiee that hasn't been seen in that area since the one time he showed up, went into the forest, and presumably never returned for 20 years. Nobody's seen him since. 15 to 20 years. But Basil can sniff him out over the course of decades. It makes a lot of sense if you don't think about it. We're skipping the predictable writing, the pointless monster fight where a lightsaber was used, just in case you missed it. And it could have been semi-interesting if some of the Jedis were harmed by the swarm of bugs, making Osha's actions have consequences. You know, something in a story. But really, it was all a means to let you know that Osha's getting her connection to the Force again. I guess, yay. Her sister has a random change of heart
I don't need to do this anymore. What?
in the middle of her journey after killing 2 people.
What I'm going to do is surrender myself to Kelnaka.
The Jedi will put you in prison.
Not after I tell them who I know.
You couldn't tell me who he is even if you wanted to.
She's just kind of like, well, my sister's alive.
Osha being alive changes everything. My loyalty is to Osha, not your master.
So I'm over my mom's dying and blaming the Jedis for literally close to 20 years. I will turn myself in. I'm good now. Obviously, Kalnaka the Wookiee, he's toast. Her Sith master somehow travels across the galaxy and finds Kalnaka before they do, without a guide or any idea of how to get to Kalnaka. And if that wasn't stupid enough, none of the Jedi sensed a disturbance in the Force while on the planet. Episode 1, they can sense the 2 kids with Force powers across the galaxy. But when a Sith Lord is literally 10 feet away from them, looking to take everyone out, nobody notices till the last minute. But don't worry, the next episode, I'm sure the Jedis will most likely get wrecked. It'll be a very boring fight sequence that will be the Dollar General version of like Kill Bill's mass sword fight. It's probably going to be that. We're going to be underwhelmed while the bots on Twitter pretend like it's the greatest thing. Did I mention that Twitter has a lot of bots right now for this trash? Well, it's going on. And then we'll probably figure out that the Sith leader, Lord, whatever, was a woman the whole time. Oh, I'm shocked. Oh my God, this sucks.